Welcome to Team Night, guys. So I'm very excited. It's getting really close to the end of the month. So we've got 5 days left, which is cool. And if you're brand new here, a huge welcome. You're probably going like, why are these guys get so crazy at the end of the month? So if you're wondering about that, we get paid on a month-to-month basis. So whatever we can get done in the next 5 days gets paid into our bank account on the 10th of next month. So if we can get our 5 and 1 in, we're going to get bonuses, or if we can get promotions done, we'll get bonuses. And then also whatever you finish the month on, like in terms of like position levels and stuff, you get paid that for the consecutive month. So if you finish this month on DVF, next month you'll get paid as a DVF. But if you finish this month on SDVF, you get paid as an SDVF. So you get a pay rise. So we get really excited about making stuff happen before the end of the month so that we can, so that we can get paid more, so we can make more money, so we can help more people. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about, I found out some really interesting stuff about our beautiful complete powders. I always knew they're amazing just from taking them myself, but recently really found out some awesome stuff. So I wanted to share it with you guys, and then we're going to kind of get some tips from our leaders and hear what they're doing around end of month and stuff like that, and hear some awesome stories. And then we're also going to map out what getting to SDVF, why everyone kind of raves about getting to SDVF. We're going to map out what that looks like. I should have got paper ready. And then we're going to, I'm going to talk about getting to SDVF, and then also what happens if you don't get to SDVF. I think it's really important that we're educated on this stuff so we can make a decision about if it's something that we want to really go after or not. So our complete powders. So the capsules are kind of very self-explanatory. They're very amazing, but I'm not going to talk about them as much tonight. Some of the other girls might. But our protein powders. So firstly, I did know this, but I didn't really know the extent of what it means. But our protein is one of the highest grade vegan proteins in the whole world. Like, the quality of it is one of the best in the whole world. And I was like, holy moly, like the highest grade you can get, highest quality protein you can get. And I was like, wow, that is crazy. It's also bioavailable, which means that when you actually have it, your body can absorb the nutrients. So a lot of stuff, it can be good for you, but if it's not bioavailable, then your body's actually not utilizing the nutrients. Obviously non-GMO, so nothing genetically modified, which is awesome. 13 grams of protein, which to some people, if you've ever been in the fitness industry and stuff or used whey protein, you might think, oh, that seems quite low, 13 grams of protein. But there's a very big difference with 13 grams of protein that is got amino acids in it and bioavailable compared to 20 grams of protein that doesn't have as many amino acids and isn't bioavailable because your body isn't actually utilizing it. So this is 13 grams of the highest quality protein, and it's got 9 amino acids in it, which means it gives you a balanced energy source. So that's why it's really good for people with diabetics and stuff with diabetes. So if you know anyone with diabetes, you've got to let them know about it, because it doesn't give them that spike in their sugar levels. It actually gives them a really, really sustained release. So that's really cool. The main sources of protein are chickpea and brown rice. It's also got a prebiotic and a probiotic. So you guys would hear so many people go on these days about gut health, which within there, right? Like, gut health is so important it's so important by digestion, if you've got IBS and stuff like that, really, really important to be looking after your gut health. But it's really important to have pre and probiotics. They both do different things to help keeping your gut healthy. So our protein powder actually contains both, which I thought is really cool. I always knew that when I took them, they sat really well in my gut, and they realized I go to the toilet really regularly. I don't have any problems with bloating and all that stuff, but I didn't realize that they are probably one of the contributing factors to that. So that's really cool. So it's going to aid your gut health and stuff like that. They also have ancient grains, so a whole different array of different ancient grains in there. So ancient grains are really good for heart health, which is really cool. And then also ancient grains also help with digestion. So there's real food in the powders. There's nothing, everything in there is stuff that you could eat as a whole food, which is really cool. Like there's not like weird stuff in there that you wouldn't eat generally. There's also spirulina in them, which I'm sure like at one time of your life, who's tried to drink spirulina before, I've definitely brought a few tubs of it in my time, and like literally it tastes like muddy water, but it's a grassy muddy water actually, but really, really good for you. And like spirulina is a form of algae, and it's like what we put in the Complete is one of the highest qualities blue-green algae into the Complete. So you don't have to be making up those gross muddy water drinks, because it's spirulina's in the powder and it tastes amazing. So that's really cool too. So I wanted to share those fun facts because I was like, wow, like that's really cool. I've been doing this for 4.5 years and I didn't realize it was even that good. So got to tell people about this stuff because this is amazing stuff. And also I learned today that 50% of Aussies are suffering with a chronic illness. I don't know what the statistics are in New Zealand, but I was like, that's crazy. And that most of those 50% are actually preventable with diet. And when I heard that, I was like, holy shit, we have something we really need to share with people. So obviously you've got your capsules as well. I'm not going to go on about those tonight. Like, they're so incredible. So much research and just the science and stuff that goes into that is amazing. And then the fact that the kids get them as well, like those guys who jumped on late. We had Sinad? Yeah, am I saying it right? Shit, sorry. We had her sharing her story. 1 week on the chews. 1 week were her 5-year-old on the chews, and she's got sensory disorders, so she really struggles with eating food and wasn't eating fruit and veg, and she asked for an apple today. And she said she was shocked. So I wanted to share that story again because it's just like so many mums in that situation. Like, we have a responsibility to share this with people. So like literally we know this stuff is incredible. Like we know there's like everything's there backing us up. It's literally just like so many, and we've got like literally thousands and thousands and thousands of customers happening in our business every like month. The rest is up to us. It's like our responsibility to go and share this with people and to help people that are in those same situations, because we have something incredible in our hands. It's just whether or not we're willing to get out there and tell people about it, which is really cool. So I want to quickly, before I hand it over to the other legends that are going to share tonight, I wanted to just quickly map out SDVF because we know we have quite a few people going for SDVF this month. And if you're brand new, it can be kind of like, well, why do I get there? Why is it important? How do I get there? All that kind of stuff. Just let me. There it is. So SDVF is like literally kind of one of the most important positions, because even once you get there, it's not the highest commission level, but once you get there, you then teach other people to get there, and that's what builds your business. Like literally that's the stepping stone and what makes up our business, which is really cool. So if you're a new SDVF, it's like about it. It's like, who can I help now? But even if you are a new SDVF, this will be really helpful because like you'll be able to share this stuff with people when you introduce them. So literally getting to SDVF is you've got to accumulate 4,000. That's not very dark. You've got to accumulate 4,000 points in your business. So how you actually do that is obviously with product orders and like those products going through your business. So if you're in Australia, a premium, which is our fruit, veg and berry, is worth 371 points. If you're in New Zealand, it's worth 408 points. So I'm going to go off premium orders tonight. I find that most people take premium orders. I really do. And I feel like if you can really utilize the three-way conversations with your uplines, they'll be able to really help you get people on premium orders, and then everything else is a real bonus if they're all amazing. You can get them on premium and shakes. So, but premiums are a really good base, and people get really good results, and they get child's health study. And I find too that we know actually from statistics that people on children's health study are less likely to cancel future orders too. So that's really cool as well if we can get them on children's health study. So like in Australia, you need to get about 10 premium orders. In New Zealand, it's like 9 or 10. You need to get 10 of these orders to get to SDVF, okay? So literally just in that alone, getting those 10 premium orders, if you're on the lowest commission level, which a lot of you would probably be on the second already, so this is like a minimum for the 10 orders, is already $610 just from those premium orders, okay? So already you kind of banked up $610. So how you can go out there, this is you. Now you can go out there and you can get those orders and like accumulate customers yourself. But one of the other prerequisites for getting to SDVF is you need to have one other team member. The really cool thing about this is you're not limited to one, you can have as many as you like, but you just must have one with one order under them. So this might be a customer, it might be someone that wants to bring in extra income. It really could be anybody. So obviously you got to find that balance and share when you're talking to people, really thinking about what they're needing. And if the biggest priority in their life would be income, then sharing this incredible business opportunity with them. So the thing is, when you're accumulating these 10 premium orders, if you have a team member under you, their orders are counted as well. So you may go out there and get 5 orders, and then they might go out there and get 5 orders as well, and that's going to accumulate to your 10 orders. It might not work out like that. You might get 8, they might get 2. You might have another team member and you might get 4, they might get 3 and 3. Like, it doesn't really matter how it works out, as long as you do have one team member signed with you, and then you have that accumulation of the 4,000 points. If you have people on premium and shakes, like, it's going to be less than 10 orders. If you have people on fruit and veg, just fruit and veg, not premium, then it's going to be more than 10 orders. I'm just kind of basing it off premium. If you are finding that you're signing up customers alone and you're getting lots of people going on like berries, 60 shakes, fruit and veg, then you could even reach out to your upline and say, like, mate, do you have any other suggestions about me upgrading people? Because I do believe a lot of it's in your verbiage, and you can, like, quite often people can afford more. It just depends on how you verbalize that. So yeah, if you do find you're getting lots of the smaller orders, which is fine, that's fine. It's good. At least they're on the products, getting something good into their bodies. But we can kind of talk about that as well. So when you get to SDVF, if you can get this done in 40 days of your start date, you'll get a $400 bonus. If you get it done in 60 days, you get a $200 bonus. Okay, so like, just say that you mainly got most of the orders on your own. So just say you got about 9 orders and then you have a teaming sign up, which I know a lot of you guys that's happening for. So just doing that, literally, there's over $1,000 in getting to SDVF. It might not work out like that. Maybe you might get 5 and they might get 5. So obviously the commission will be a bit lower, but usually we find people that get to SDVF within the 40 to 60 day period, depending how fast and the accumulation, usually they're earning $600 to $1,000, which is really, really cool. So that's getting to SDVF, and you guys, we're seeing people doing it all the time. So it's totally possible. It's just up to you whether it's something that you want to go for. And what I will say is, like, yeah, the people that are getting it done, they're putting in the work, and they're putting in a few extra hours here and there around life to get this done. But the thing is, they're not doing that all the time. They're like, okay, well, this promotion's there. I really want it to happen. I can do it. And they're really hustling for it. So we're going to be sharing some tips around tonight around what they're doing when they're going for it. If you do miss this SDVF in your 60 days, you do have the option to do one restart in your first year. If you get down the track and you get some momentum, you can restart your business. Otherwise, you do have to get to SDVF, you can go there accumulative, and you do have to accumulate 8,000 points instead of the 4,000. So it is a lot bigger jump if you do choose to do it that way. That's why we love to encourage people to do it the first way. They get that big win in their bank accounts. They've helped a whole bunch of people, which really creates momentum, rather than going for the 8,000. either way, whichever way you want to do it is absolutely fine. It is completely up to you. We're there to support you and cheer you on however you want to do that. When you also do SDVF accumulative, you don't get a bonus. So that's something to keep in mind as well. You will get a pay rise, obviously, to the SDVF level. So when you guys get to SDVF, you start getting $91 back on a premium order. So it's a really nice big pay rise too once you get there and you start getting customers. It's really, really cool. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. If you do have any questions about it, you can ask, you can reach out to your sponsor, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so I hope that was helpful. Now we're going to share some tips, some stories, and some love. Guys, if you have any questions in the comments about anything these guys are talking about, or you want to come off mute, go for it. Okay, this is your training. We want to make it interactive. We want to make it a conversation. So I'm going to pass it over to Kirst first, and she's going to talk to us.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. For those who don't know me, I think there's a couple of new people. I'm Kirst. I'm a mum of 3. I'm going to talk a little bit about my product story because I think it's really important at this time of the month that we start to hear lots of stories so we know what we're actually standing behind. So I really wanted just to share with you guys. So I was on the product. I started, I think, about 3 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. It gets away from me. And I was on the product because I was really sick all the time. So I was getting things like the cold, the flu, and then sinusitis, bronchitis, pleurisy, which is like inflammation of the lungs. Like I was always sick, and I was really tired, and I was really drained, and I guess like I was just overworked as well. Like I was working like 2 jobs, and that was obviously draining my immune system. And I just didn't know if there was something out there that would help me, because I was on different antibiotics all the time, and I felt like I was taking one thing after another, and I'd get better, then I'd get sick again. And I came across it, and I was like, like I didn't have anything to lose at this stage. Like I really didn't. Like I was like, I'm just going to give it a go and see how it works for me. And I really just wanted to say like that was just another thing that didn't work. And I really had that in my head, and I was really skeptical behind it. But at the same time, like fruit and vegetables did make sense. Like it's no brainer really. And I knew that I was eating like enough, but not enough. Like I was eating like maybe like 6 vegetables a day, but not really any fruit. And, I knew that there was a gap there. So I thought, well, maybe it'll make a little bit of a difference. We'll just see. And first of all, like, obviously I didn't instantly not get sick. Like it wasn't like I woke up one morning and it was just gone and I was free. It wasn't like that. But I think it took about 2 weeks before like my bloating started to go away. And I always thought that was just part of my body. Like I always just thought that was my body shape, and I was meant to be like that because I'd suffered from that since I was like 4. And when that went away, I was like, am I losing weight? Like, is that what this weight loss looks like? And I'd actually been the same on the scale. So I was like, it really is just bloating. So, and then I started to realize that after about 3 months, I just hadn't been that sick. But it was just like such a new feeling that I didn't even like pay attention until I was like, hang on a second, I actually haven't been sick. And then it was really quite exciting. And then I thought, well, now I'm cured, I'm just going to get off the product. And I think it was more like, when we take antibiotics, like when we're cured, we just get off of them. We don't stay on them. And so, yeah, I was like, this is perfect. And, me and my partner at the time we were trying for a baby, and I was super excited. Like it was our first planned baby. So I was like pumped up, and I guess that this fairy tale came crashing down when I got sick again. And unfortunately, my body couldn't handle looking after me and looking after a baby as well. So, unfortunately, that happened 3 times before some warning bells went off in my head, and I was like, you're an idiot, Kirst. Like, you just need to get back on your health and look after you first. And I think, as mums, we always push ourselves to the side. And I really had to say, well, no, it's important. It's important for me to look after my health, because if I don't look after my health, I have nothing. And so I looked after my health and got back on the products and really started to make small changes just really regularly throughout the week. And I love that about our program, that you can just take a bit from it and just use one recipe. Like one recipe a week would be different to what I was usually eating, and doing all those little things. And then obviously had my miracle baby Elliot, who's running around, and he's like almost 3 now, so that's gone really quickly. And then I had also had my surprise baby, who was Daisy, who's 1 now, just my surprise juice plus baby, because apparently when you're healthy, getting pregnant is quite simple. So surprise. But the reason why I share with you this like story with you guys is that, like, imagine if I didn't say yes to Perry, and imagine what my life would be like now. And I think that sometimes, like, I love the numbers that Perry went through before, but I think sometimes we get, so focused on the numbers that we don't think about the people behind the stories. And if Perry didn't change my life by giving me that, and honestly did change my life, still like wells me up today, like, like she didn't give me that gift, where would I be? And we have that gift. Like, you have that gift in you to change somebody's life. Like, you just need to go out and talk to those people. And I think that, the end of the month hustle is so important, but because we're going to reach our goals, and we're all going to, celebrate together as a team, and that's so beautiful. But just know that behind that is those stories of changing people's lives. And it can be from a small thing as, somebody having more energy. That's life-changing for someone, especially mums. So I also wanted just to share some like quick hot tips, and they're just things that I do. So they might work for you, they might not, but they work for me. So what I do is I always keep my story active. So, little story bar, I always try and keep this active at the end of the month. So it doesn't matter what you're really sharing. Like, obviously you're going to try and share a bit about a product and whatever goals you're going for. But I always make sure it's active, even if it's like me drinking a coffee and drinking a coffee. Like, even if I'm not doing anything as cool as traveling, like, I'm always just keeping that. So people are coming through and seeing that. So like traffic sort of area. And then the other thing is I like to give away like free shakes if I'm really hustling for a promotion, just one. And the reason being, like, one is so good because you can offer it as like a free shake trial. But it gives the opportunity for somebody to try the shakes. I was really skeptical behind the shakes because I've tried a lot of them before and I thought they were disgusting. And the chocolate ones, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe there's actually things like this that taste good. And I didn't even know the facts about it that Perry shared before, so that's really cool as well. Like, even doing a post with that and offering somebody like a free shake trial, and having that conversation around those shakes is so important. So that's something that I would definitely be doing. And just share your update of your story. Like, you might have come into this like 4 years ago, like Perry, or you might be in this like 3 weeks ago. Just an update of your story is so important because people are following that journey, and it's not very salesy because it's just you sharing authentically from the heart, which I think is really important, that you're just sharing that journey. And just another hot tip as well is just following up with everyone past and present. So if you have been here for a while and you've had people who've cancelled, if Perry didn't follow back up with me and build back on that relationship, maybe I wouldn't have been so eager to have got back to her and said, actually, no, I need help. So, like, there's people out there who maybe had great results and something's come up and they've had to cancel. And just because they've said that they want to cancel doesn't mean that they want to cancel forever. It might have just been that time, and now they're just not reaching back out to you, and you don't know how their health has changed. And on the other flip side, on business, you don't know, what situations changed with them since the last time you caught up with them. So catching up with all those people as well. And what else did I write? Just one more thing. And just coming from a place of gratitude. So I learned this from Perry literally today because I was really struggling with this month. Like, that's my honest answer, because I was actually sick for the first time in 3 years this month. And I was so disheartened, I think, from, coming from such a place of consistency. And I still got that feeling. And I think that, I've been in the business now for like 2.5 years, and I still got that feeling of, like, why why am I not getting the results? And at the end of the day, I really just had to take it back to gratitude. Like when Perry said it, it was like, obviously, of course I do. Like, my team is doing amazing. Like, Amy's doing amazing. Like, Lucy is absolutely killing it. Like, and their team's actually killing it as well. And, you know, they've been so supportive of me. And so I'm going to shout out to them as well. Like, just saying to them, like, yeah, but you've obviously done a good job because we're doing what you're doing. And, like, it doesn't matter, you can be sick. And I think that I had to just take it back and listen to her and just think, like, yeah, like, I've got to come from gratitude. Like, everybody has ups and downs throughout business, in every single business in the whole entire world. This is no different. And I'm just so grateful for the opportunity. And I spoke for long enough now. So I'll pass you back to Free.
That was awesome. So good. Love it. Thanks so much, Kirst. There were some awesome tips. And it kind of got me thinking, like, because Kirsty, like she said in her story, like, she was on the products and then she did cancel. But I wasn't like, okay, we'll catch you later, we can't be friends anymore. Like, we still like stayed in touch, and I went to her house still, and like, eventually she was like, oh, I need to get back on them. And I really didn't think that she ever would. I just thought, oh, she tried them and she got good results, but maybe she just thought it wasn't from them. Like, but you just never know. And like, that's come to fruition today. Like, I had a girl message me about the shred today, and she was like, oh yeah, like, I used to be on the products. I used to order through Amy, but I don't think she does it anymore. I mean, Lucy, actually, the girl's name was Lucy. And I was like, oh, Lucy DeVoog. And Lucy DeVoog doesn't do it anymore. She used to be one of my teamies, but she's not in it anymore. And I was like, well, lucky I've like stayed in contact with this girl, because like, who knows how she would have found it to reorder again if she wanted to, or anything like that. And literally all of my orders that I put through this month, they have been people like that have been like really long conversations. Like I've talked to them about other shreds, and like, they've just decided to come back. So just really good tip there with following up with the past and present people, because you just never know where people are at. Just because they've given your decision previously doesn't mean that's their decision today. So that's an awesome tip, Kirst. I think we're going to pass to Luce next.
There we go. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I don't know if I know everyone on tonight either, so I'll just quickly, I'm Lucy, I'm vet, I've got a little boy, I've been in the business nearly 2 years now, which is just freaking weird because time just flies. I did want to share, Perry obviously just went through the SDVF stuff, and I did want to share, that I did do a restart. Don't ever be disheartened by having to do a restart to get one of your promotions. It doesn't mean you're a failure. Just means, you know, I probably wasn't in the right place for this business when I first started. I was getting married and then a few other things going on, so it doesn't mean you won't get there. So this month I have had a really good month, and I think I just want to share maybe similar stuff to what Perry and Kirsty said, but two of my customers are people that have come back to me. Cancelled after the 2 shreds ago. One of the ladies cancelled and went, oh, I didn't really lose any weight, nothing, blah blah blah. She's come back and she's now ordered the capsules and the omegas again, so that's awesome. Few of them were locals, so I think something I've realized is I'm a vet in my local town. It's quite a small town. Obviously not everyone's going to have the same situation, but just being really present in your local community. A couple of my customers, it comes down to the trust triangle. So people are going to buy from you if they think you're trustworthy, if they think you have knowledge about the product, and I can never remember the third one. Anyway, these people know I'm a local vet, so I did a post on my local community board just about the shred and said that I was doing it. Would anyone like to jump on it with me and help be accountable? And I've got 2 customers from that, which is awesome. They're completely different demographic to me, but it's just really nice. They're clients from work. I know them. Great. It was just completely easy conversations because they already trusted me. Something that I do as well, I'm such a last minute kind of person. Like, I'm already in my head going, oh, end of month's Wednesday, that's fine. I need 1 more order to get 10 and 2 this month. I'll just do it next week. So I'm always been that person, and it makes it really stressful. And I actually got told off by head office last month for doing that. They still gave me my 5 in 1, but they were like, you can't do this to us, it's not fair. And I was like, yes, true. I need to be way more organized. So I need one more customer. So I'm like, I'm not putting it down until I get that customer. I'm treating every day like it's the last day of the month until the end of the month now. So all my spare moments, I'm getting up early, pumping through my reach outs. I'm still one of those people that's really crap at keeping notes. So I'm using Teamsy. I'm finding it really helpful because all my follow-ups are logged on there. I'm still like not perfect at Teamsy either because I chat to people and then I'm like, oh, I didn't put them on Teamsy. Go back and do it later. But I'm definitely making more of an effort, because if you said to me, who did you talk to about the shred 3 shreds ago, I wouldn't know where that notebook was. I'm just not that organized. I guess that comes down to me probably not always treating this business like a proper business. I treat it like something I do on my phone, and I think you just can't be that organized, solely just relying on one thing like that. Anyway, I digress. So one other thing I'm doing at the end of the month, so that post that I put up on my community page, there was 28 comments on it. Some of them were mine, obviously, but there's some people on there that I messaged and they didn't even see my message because it went into the Messenger other folder, which happens all the time. So I've just gone back onto that post, and anyone that I can see has not responded, I've gone, hey, lovely, just checking you got my message, check your other folder, love to have a quick chat, or something like that. And it boosts your post, firstly, like everyone on there sees that the post is there again. And also it just maybe gives, there was one person that was like, oh shit, yeah, no, I missed that. So they've started in a conversation. And you can do that with all your posts that have ever been product related. You can literally go back through them and see if anyone's commented and just highlight those people. Or you can even like grab some shred results, some like little pictures, and go comment on one of your previous posts as well, and everyone that was on there that liked it or commented will see that you've put something on that post. Did you add them, Lucy, like as friends? Yeah, I do, but you know, you can't always add people. Some people got it set to private and some people just don't accept your ads. So sometimes I'll cancel my friendship ad and redo it as well, because people will see it again and they'll go, oh yes, yeah, okay. So that's something you can do. What else do I do at the end of the month? There's always those people at the back of your mind that you know you should offer this to and you just don't. And I'm one of those people that waits till like the last 5 minutes before head office closes and messages that person and goes, do you want to try our shakes? And they go, yeah, cool. And I'm like, right, okay. So make a list of those people that are at the back of your mind that you're just not reaching out to, that you could, and do it now, because it's better than tomorrow, it's better than the next day, because you don't want them coming back to you the day after your promotion was due or the day after you were going for that 5 in 1. Yeah, and just have fun with it as well. Like, as everyone's been kind of generally saying this month, we're all here to help people with their health. We're not just here to get our own promotions and things. And I think once you realize that, you speak differently to people and they get that feeling from you and they just trust you a bit more. So sometimes it's good to just throw all those like promotions and what you're going for out the window and just go back to like, why are you chatting to this person? What is it that you actually want? Do you want them to be a customer or do you want to help them with their health? Right, and just kind of rejig it in your brain a little bit, and that can help too. Yeah, cool. So I think that's pretty much everything I need to say for now. I'm not sure who I'm passing back to, Perry.
That's awesome. Really good tips. Thanks, Luce. I've just popped a little message in the chat box. This can be a really good one if you're going through your posts, like Lucy said, but checking who's been liking your posts, and then just say your post was directly about the challenge, messaging them and saying, hey, how are you? Thanks so much for liking my post. We're interested in our 8-week challenge, or just liking for support. Either way, I really appreciate it. And you can do that for any post. If you pop up a post about your business story, you can say like, were you interested in creating extra income, or you just liking for support? Either way, I really appreciate it. Like, whatever your post is about, this is a really good one. And I find it gets a good response because it's like no pressure, like it's okay if this was just for support. And I just find I get a good response, but it always surprises me when people are like, oh yeah, I'd like information. I'm like, well, why didn't you ask? So now we're going to pass it to Jo.
Awesome. I've just finally got baby to sleep. He's crashed. I probably was going to say similar stuff to Kirsten Luce, to be honest. Like, we've all probably got the same kind of ideas after doing it for so long. So I think most people know me on here, but otherwise, if you don't, I'm Jo. I've been in the business for 3 years now, and I've got 4 kids. And I was just actually, you say, me and Perry had a chat with one of my team, and a comment she said to me was, "You make this look easy. Like, why is it so hard for me? But you make it look easy." And I was like, "Do you want an honest opinion? This has not been easy for me. Like, I've had to work really hard to get where I am, but I've fallen off the wagon, like Kirst said, and team have kind of come and gone, and like not every day is definitely easy, and but I think I've got a really strong why while I'm here, and I said the other day I'm super stubborn. That's probably why I haven't given up. But I think also it's, for me now, it's helping the customers, like before the girls are saying, like, I know, that's really satisfying for me. I know a lot of the new team, when they get their team and they're getting, their team, I know like Shannon and some of the new girls in our team are getting customers, and they're already getting messages saying, "Thank you, like it's really helped me." And like, how good does it feel? Like, honestly, what other job can you feel this good? Like, you're helping people. You could be saving lives, like, and I know that sounds really silly or cliche, but you could be stopping that person from having a heart attack because you've like given them better health, or you've helped like Kirst have a baby. Like, would she have had those 2 children if Perry had ever introduced the product? Do you know what I mean? Like, you just never know what impact you've made on that person's life. And I suppose that's for me, and that, and keeping those long-term relationships. I can see my team on here, and every one of them is someone I've spoken to for years. Like, in the back of my mind, I never thought that Mickey or Tanya, who I've known for years, would either join my team. I never had that going, like, and it's just, I've been a friend, and it's an extra bonus, to be honest, that they joined my team. Like, that's a bonus because I already like them. Like, they're already my friends. Do you know what I mean? Like, and Amanda was just someone who I connected with and just kept in touch, and we've like become good friends because of it. And that's cool. Now she's on my team. I get to work with people I like, because I've worked with so many people over the years who I didn't like. And being in beauty, Kirst gets this, females, it was horrible and bitchy and just not nice. And now I get to work with people who I actually like, and I get to help them with their health, but also help them with their financial freedom. And like, it's so satisfying. Like, I think this is when when Lucy was saying about the promotions, for me, I don't focus on my own. I'm focusing on like, who can I help get their goals, because that honestly just makes me feel like, yeah, I'll hit my promotion. I'm like, yeah, cool. But if I help, like Amanda or Tanya or Mickey or somebody in our team reach their promotion, that is like 100 times more satisfying, like, and gives you so much joy. And I think that's what's cool about our community. Do you know what I mean? No matter who you are or where you are in our community, everybody is really willing to reach out and help you. But I think for end of month, I know for me, like, and I know a lot of you girls are on here, are busy mums or working full time or trying to fit this around life. I totally get that. That's been my whole journey. I've just gone back to work casually as well, so having 4 kids. And last night, Josh got home after midnight, and he was like, "What are you still doing awake?" I'm like, "I'm working." And that's me. That's my, like, I know that might sound crazy, but that's when I'm most focused, is in the evenings, as I'm sitting here lying in bed with Bubba, and I like message people and can reach people all over the world from my phone and do business. And I think that's a pretty cool job. Like, so for me, it's like end of the month is reaching out to those people, like, who can I help? And it's not like who I need a customer, like I need a teamie, like, who can I reach out to that really can benefit from this? For like, I'm actually going to update my story, guys, so you can share it. But like, I've had an amazing experience with the Amigas. I feel like it sounds not cured, is probably the wrong word, but I have got rid of my postnatal depression naturally with no medication from Amigas. That's all I've introduced, and exercise. And I think, how many other women do I know out there who are suffering from depression and anxiety and just go straight to the doctor and live off, so I've got to share this. I've got to go out and find those people and tell them about it, because if I don't tell them about it, will they ever know? And that's what I think. If I had never reached out to Mickey, if I had never reached out to Amanda and Tanya and all the other girls on my team, would they ever have known about this? Probably not. And I think that's my thinking is now, yeah, in the beginning it's scary sometimes to have those conversations, but you just got to think of it as like you're giving them a disservice if you don't ask. Like, don't decide for them, because you don't know like what they give them the chance to answer you. And it may not be for them now, like the girl said, but it's not an either. And like for many of us who've been doing this for a few years now, they always come back. So end of the month, guys, is just thinking, who do you know? Reach out to them. Just ask. If it's not for them, all good. Absolutely fine. Like, you're still their friend, as Perry said. You're not going to stop talking to them. You're still their mate. But why not ask for them? You know, and if it's not for them, maybe they know somebody who would be interested. So hopefully that helps, guys. I kind of was like winging it there.
So helpful, so helpful. And the reality is, like, they probably would have ended up finding out about them if you didn't tell them, Joe, because so many people are doing stuff like this these days. And if it's not you, somebody else will share this with them. And like, even in Australia now, I think it's like 85% of people already have a side hustle or are looking for one. And like, can you imagine that as that number increases, like 5-10 years down the track, it's going to be like, you don't have a side hustle? Because like the cost of stuff is just rising, wages are not increasing, like people need this. And like, even like our food, where it's so much harder to get good quality food, so many people, like the statistics I shared earlier, so many people are getting sicker, so many like new diseases coming around. Like, the reality is it's going to be like, you're not taking something for your health. Like, it's just going to be that that's what people have to do. Unfortunately, or it's going to be like, well, you don't have an extra income because we need it. So yeah, the reality is, if you're not going to be the one that share it with them, somebody is. And that, like, I know Lucy shared a story last week where she actually had her sister-in-law has signed up to Juice Plus with somebody else because she didn't know Lucy was doing it. And so, like, imagine if that happened, that would suck. But the reality is, Lucy actually never asked her because she got in her own head and kind of made up some stories that maybe she would never be interested in this. So you just never know. So I'm going to pass you guys to Mickey now, and she's going to share her hot tips. She smashed it. If you guys don't know, Mickey absolutely smashed it in her. It was like your first 6 weeks, was probably even 8 weeks, was just fire. It was absolutely incredible. So amazing. So I'm sure she has some epic tips for that time of your journey as well.
Cool, thanks, Perry. Yeah, hi, I'm Mickey. I'm a mum of 3 boys, if you don't know. First one, I've got a couple written down here. When you're going for like that last, when you're so close to that promotion and you've got someone that's so close to buying, but you're like don't rely on them. It's better to say more to, I'd say less to more people than to like go crazy and like spoil it with that person. So just keep reaching out to other people. Just keep putting your upline in 3 ways. Yeah, so just don't rely on that one person who's so close, because if they drop out, then it's like, shit. Then you've got backup. What else have I got here? If like often in those last few days, you do feel a bit desperate, and you like, I know I've like often gone into it too quick and been like, oh no, they probably feel like that I'm desperate, and if I reach out and then I'm like, oh no, then they go a bit funny. Like, I'll keep talking to them, just normal conversations after that. Like if they say, oh no, then don't stop the conversation there, because that's just showing that you were just after that. Because I've actually had people come back and buy from that, because I've just kept that relationship up with them. So friendship first, business second. And I was just listening to a book today that he was saying that he had a popcorn. He put it in the microwave and pushed, I think he pushed 2 minutes, and then every 10 seconds he opened it up and it wasn't ready. And then he shut the door, put it back in, put it another 10 seconds, open it up, wasn't ready. And he could go on doing that for an hour and it just wouldn't be ready. So the point is that this business loves momentum. So it needs like, you can't just be in it for 1 week here, 1 week there. It's like a consistent thing. It's better to do it consistently, a full on 2 minutes in the microwave, than just little bits here and there. But yeah, that's about all I've got, I think. Yeah.
That's so cool. Love that analogy. That's so true. And like, if you can just like squeeze that little bit in each day and learn how to use those like little pockets of time, like all these mums have done, like all you guys, I'm not a mum. I have way more time than you guys. Like, seriously. So like, but if these guys can do it with those little pockets of time, like Luce said, she's been getting up a bit earlier and getting that work done first thing in the morning. Like, sometimes you do have to do things that, like, it's probably not that nice waking up earlier, but like, is it worth it? Yeah, it'd be worth it. She's going to get an amazing pay this month. Like, but not that, like, imagine all those pit stories she's going to get in like 2 weeks. All these people start getting amazing results and start feeling cool on the shred. And then imagine what she's going to be able to do next month when she actually like when that pay hits her account. Like, she might better go on a little holiday. She might book flights to conference. I don't know. Like, you don't know what she's going to do, but like, that's the exciting stuff. You're not getting excited for the money. Like, it's what you're going to do with it. So think about like what you're going to reward yourself with. And like all those people, like I know when Shannon first started, like I was like, how good are you going to feel when like you have like your 10 family members on the program with you? Like, that's going to feel amazing. And she was like, yes, so good, because she knew how good she felt. So like, just think about like the things, I guess, the outcome of all of this, and go, yeah, like what Kerr said, pick your hard. So like, well, like it might seem hard, but is getting up half an hour earlier to get some work done that hard? Or whatever it is, like using half your lunch break. And like, once you get in flow, you'll get better. Like, it is when you first start, I must admit, I don't know if anyone else found it hard, but I found it hard to find my little pockets of time. But you get better, like anything. Like when you first start going to the gym, it's hard, but it gets easier. So you'll get better at this stuff. So don't be too hard on yourself either. So does anyone have any else they want to share? Thank you so much, girls. That was some awesome tips. I got heaps out of it. Does anyone questions or anything? Awesome. Cool. Let's stop.